Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today is March 8th, 2021, and today is Monday morning. Welcome back, everybody. And looking at the highlights of today, we're watching oil soar to $70 a barrel after a Saudi Arabian pipeline has been attacked, presumably by Iran. Now, looking at the major economic events of the day, just one event coming out at 12 p.m. South African time out of Great Britain. We have the Bank of England, Governor Bailey will be speaking. Now, looking at the various markets, we're watching the dollar continue to gain versus the major pairs as the indices. We're watching the Dow Jones bounce last week after the NFP, while the NASDAQ remains still weak. Now, looking at commodities, gold pretty much unchanged, while oil, as mentioned, soars to $70. Now, looking at the stock markets, the tech stocks and the tech sector remains weak, while we're looking at Bitcoin bouncing to resistance, presumably, perhaps, retracing at this level. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're going to first take a look at a daily chart of the Euro USD and look at this sell-off. Nice little sell-off last week as we broke, okay, for the last time, the moving averages, the 30-day and the 8-day moving averages, and we broke it with some gusto, okay? We had that retracement, the bounce, used it as potential resistance-ish level, and then breaking lower. Now, we are at still a somewhat of a support level. This 119.13-ish level is still somewhat of a support level. I do expect it to continue to consolidate in this area, and it may be across the board. Now, looking at the GBP USD, it did consolidate at this area, so I do expect a bounce, okay? At a certain point, I do expect a bounce or maybe sideways trading, but so far, it's been pretty much in a tight range. Now, jumping into gold, look at this. Trading at 1,700 flat, really not doing much here as it's consolidated at this 1,700-ish level, okay? Now, this may bounce today because of the news that we're getting out of Saudi Arabia. However, in the limelight, in the spotlight, we're looking at oil here, jumping to $70 a barrel and then retracing here at 67.57 right now, looking at an April contract. Now, this may find itself closing the gap, okay, as this is artificially being pushed up by a news event. So something to consider. But one thing is sure, I do expect some volatility in the trading of oil today. Now, looking at the NASDAQ, okay, look at this. It sold off until last Friday. Okay, now this has been relatively weak every time it's actually gone down. It's gone down more than it's gone up. Okay, and so it remains weak at this level. Now, it may change character at a certain point because I'm watching some of the tech stocks almost across the board remain weak, but that's not always the case. Okay, so we're going to look at the individual stocks in just a second, but compare it to the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones pushed higher. Okay, actually pushed all the way up to 31,500-ish level. This morning we had a gap up because of what's happening with the price of oil. And now you do see that it's trying to bring itself back to life here above the 31,600-ish level and back to this level. However, looking at the individual stocks, the tech stocks still remain somewhat weak. If we look at Apple, it pushed up a little bit, but nothing really major. Okay, if we jump to Facebook, also trading in a sideways. Amazon traded below $3,000 for the first time in quite some time, okay? So this is a major retracement for Amazon as well. Microsoft trading sideways really at 231 off of our highs by about 10 points. Now looking at the big board stocks, the Dow Jones components, we're looking at Alcoa. Look at this, above $30 a share last Friday, okay? So we did see this push up quite nicely last week, but now we do want to see if it's going to hold this area or is it going to break down. Now looking at JP Morgan also hanging still around this 153, and this is really out of the positive news that came out of the States with the stimulus package being signed and money being poured into the markets, okay? So, you know, it's a mixed bag right now, okay? Now lastly, looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has become the new safe haven. Look at this. As the markets continue to push higher, it pushed to 51,393-ish level, which is that previous resistance-ish level, okay? Now, if it does hold this 8-day moving average and does push this higher, we may be able to see it back in that 54,000-ish area, okay? So something to consider might be that we're going to change our upwards momentum, okay, to not be as steep as we saw it before, but something a little bit less steep as it is right now, okay? Now, it does have a support level at this 46,000-ish level, okay? So between these two parameters, we've been trading in the past 2 weeks. So if it does break above this 52,000, then I do expect it to push higher. So something to look forward to today. This is Fred Razak. We wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.